Did you know Dolly Parton has a cornbread mix? Yeah, me neither. Today we're shoving all these aside and making our cornbread the old-fashioned way, from scratch. It's gonna be moist, tender, not crumbly, and best of all, we're making a sweet version and this amazing savory one as well. So buckle up, grab your apron, let's go. We're starting with a classic sweet cornbread. So get your mixing bowl and a cast iron skillet or a 9x13 pan. Grab your yellow cornmeal, it's the heart of this recipe. Can you really have cornbread without cornmeal? To that, we're adding our flour, baking powder, salt, and sugar, and whisking it all together. Now that we have our dry ingredients combined, we're gonna add our buttermilk, our vegetable oil, and creamed corn. Yes, I said creamed corn. I know some people are gonna be mad at this, but just go with it. Trust me, it keeps things moist and dreamy. No dry, crumbly cornbread allowed in Auntie Alicia's kitchen. Lastly, add the melted butter. Nope. Not lastly, almost forgot our honey. The beauty of using a scale is you don't have to scoop this out of a measuring cup or a spoon. It's such a mess. Can't get it all out. Or you have to have like a baby little spatula. Speaking of measurements, the recipe will be at the end of the video. And if you want to print out a copy from the website, just go to auntiealiciakitchen.com. The link will be in the description box below. Now whisk again. This is pretty thick, so you want a stiff whisk. We're going to pour this into our dish. Don't forget to spray that cast iron or that pan. Pop in the oven at 400 degrees for about 35 minutes. Use a toothpick to make sure it's done. Since this cornbread has a little sugar, it may start to brown a little faster as it bakes, so you may have to make a foil tent for the top of it. What do you like to pair your cornbread with? Red beans and rice, greens, chili, or something else? While that's cooking, let's whip up a perfect topping, whipped honey butter. Yum. Using my handy dandy hand mixer, whip up 2 sticks of butter and some salt until it gets to a pale color and it's nice and smooth and fluffy. Next, add in 1/4 cup of honey and whip it a little bit longer. We're gonna set this aside until our cornbread is done baking. No judgment if you have to taste test. I did. Looks like we had to tent our cornbread at about 25 minutes. The top was browning a little bit more than we wanted, so I tented it and it'll prevent it from browning more and just let it bake. It'll be perfect. Let's move on to the opposite of sweet. The savory and spicy side of life. Same base recipe with a lot less sugar and the addition of some cumin. I like to give my buttermilk a shake. Same wet ingredients, oil, eggs, and we added a spicy twist, diced green peppers, and some pickled jalapenos, juice drained, and we're turning that sweet side into a fiery fiesta. Now let me ask you this, are you team savory or team sweet when it comes to cornbread? Drop your comments below and let's stir up some delicious debate. I like my jalapenos diced thinner and smaller instead of chunkier, kind of the same size as the green chilies. So why use canned jalapenos? Because if I use fresh jalapenos that were diced up and just threw it in my cornbread, I don't feel that it would be cooked enough for me, and I like my jalapenos cooked. So I would have to pan fry them first and dirty up another dish and do an extra step. So I'm just chopping them up and throwing them in. Now we add our cheese. I have cheddar, and to add to that southwestern flavor, pepper jack. Spray that 9x13 pan well and load it up. You can half the recipe if you want and use an 8x8 or a 9x9 pan, but everybody loves this recipe, so you probably don't need to. Don't forget those extra jalapenos on top for that extra flair and because she's cute. Bake it for 40 to 45 minutes at 400 degrees. With the cheese in this one, it's gonna take a little bit longer, but no need to tent. It's got a little less sugar. Let's check out our first one because she gets a 10 for looks. And there you have it, perfectly sweet, perfectly moist, delicious cornbread with a honey butter on top. I don't know, that's the best cornbread I've ever had. It is not dry. Most time cornbread is dry. It's crumbly. It's typically overbaked and doesn't have enough flavor. And this is the complete opposite of that. Perfectly moist, perfectly baked, perfectly seasoned, and has the perfect texture. It's moist, it's fluffy, it's tender and not crumbly. She's beautiful, and that honey butter, mwah, sets it to a whole nother level. 10 out of 10. We'll definitely make again. Oh wow, Look at this southwestern beauty. She is pretty. I hope the spices don't kill me. I'm a bit of a spice wimp, but I've got rave reviews and everybody loves this flavor. It's got cheese, it's got spices, it's got flavor. Yum. This tastes like Southwest. I get the cheese, I get the spice, the jalapenos. It's got a kick. When I was testing the recipe, I kept getting told, like, it needs a kick. It needs more spice. Well, I'm feeling it now. And I'm a wimp. So it's got a kick. I like it. Just the right amount of kick. To where you can still enjoy it, but you get the spice. I love the texture. Again, super moist with all the cheese and that cream corn in there. And perfect flavor. Oh, I even got a little cheese pull there. And there you have it, sweet or savory. The choice is yours. The full recipes are waiting for you at AuntieAlicia'sKitchen.com. Thanks for joining me today where we transform simple ingredients into a masterpiece. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more delicious adventures. Until next time, happy cooking. Today we're upping our cornbread game from okay to absolutely amazing. Or as the kids say, from mid to bussin'. I'm just a wimp. It builds. Like I take a bite, I'm like, okay, it's not bad. Now my tongue's a little like burning, a little bit. Like I'm not breathing fire, but I feel it on my tongue.